Give this a moment. Right, right. I don't know what's going on in Amsterdam. I have no idea. It's freaking crazy. I don't know why it's having issues tonight. I have no idea. There's Mary's back in the house. Angela's in here. Yeah, right. I guess not, JJ. Jeez. Hey, Wishika. Angela Fleming's back. Delbert's back. So I don't know, guys. Craziness. Good old YouTube. But my internet's fine. My internet. So this is a weird. This is a part that doesn't make sense. Okay, my internet is fine. So it's not like my internet's bumping me offline. Um, it's not. It's YouTube. It's got to be YouTube. So three in a row means you're doing it right. Tony said that's funny. Had to hunt this time. That's yeah. This is the third take. Jay no more. So unbelievable. We'll start this one out slow. We'll go slow on this one, and then we'll get into stuff, and hopefully they leave us alone after that. I think the record, and it's happened before. I think the record is about 7. I think that's about the record. So I'm not 100% sure, but anyway, so we already got what 72 back in here. We only got 27 thumbs up, guys. Guys are slacking. So if you have not shot that thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. Again, I thank you ahead of time for that. And it really does make a huge difference with the algorithms. So the more interaction, the better. Also, again, if anybody is in here that hasn't been in here before, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get notifications for everything as well. And again, I thank you ahead of time for that. So, but yeah, it's just I don't know. Like I said, so we'll talk a little bit about the food shopping. Let's do that. Okay, we'll do. The record stands at 7 for restarts in one night. Okay, I thought it was 7. Oh, the puppies are getting way huge. And I do have a favorite now. And I'm going to tell you what, and this is going to sound bad. And I don't know if the guy was probably somebody that was watching the channel. The one guy was going to take the two puppies. He was going to take Caesar and he was going to take Zeus. And then he had some heart issues, and he wasn't able to take them. Okay, and Caesar has become and Caesar's the one that had the puffy side of his face, guys. Okay, he's the one that had that. He's my favorite. I mean, now I will tell you this: Anubis is the most loving girl. I mean, she is awesome. You must know something we aren't supposed to know, RC Cap. I don't know, man. I don't know what the problem is. Thank you so much for the donation. I do appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, it's just just playing games, playing games. It's not on my end, DJ. It's on YouTube. Because if it was my end and I was kicked offline completely, it would take several minutes for my system to reboot. So it's not on my end at all. But now I will tell you, Anubis is has any of the puppies knocked you down off your feet yet? No, but they definitely have banged into me a few times. When you have 4 of them all around you and they all want their attention at the same time, that's what happens. But anyway, Anubis is a really loving girl. She's usually the first one to come up to get her love and attention, and they're all getting to know their names now too. So like when I call one of them, and that one will look at me, and I'm like, "Yeah, you come on, baby." So that's pretty cool. But Caesar is stocky. I love his coloring, and so I'm actually in a way, even though I didn't really plan on keeping 4 puppies. I'm really glad that gentleman was not able to take them because of his health issues. Um, and Zeus is cool too. I mean, his colors are completely different from the other 3. So uh, Genghis and Anubis are pretty close color wise, but did you freeze your beans before storing? No, Watcher, I did not. No. Timex and Rolex. Yeah, I kind of just let the names kind of flow and come to me. Like naming Genghis after Genghis Khan. I thought that was pretty cool. And but then you have then you have um, hey JJ, you want to take care of that please for me? Thank you so much. Uh, I don't know what happened to Caesar's face, JJ. I have no idea what happened to Caesar's face. Thank you. They always want to play games, which is kind of sad. And they know they're going to get blocked, but they can't help themselves. They're like little children. It's like, ever see the little kid goes over to the cookie jar and he takes the cook you put takes the lid off and he puts his hand in there and you go, "No. No cookies," right? And they're going to try again. You tell them no, and then maybe they'll try. That's what this is. It's like little kids with cookies. That's all. So just like little kids with cookies, they have to be punished. So there we go. Yeah. So I have no idea what happened to his face. I'm thinking probably an abscess is what I think happened with him. So, but exactly. Thank you, Mary. Exactly. Yeah. It's very funny. But anyway, but the puppies are awesome. They're so much fun, and love having them, out and about. And oh, I was going to tell you guys this one. So I had. It's been a while, okay. Since so I guess so. People that are my part of my group are going to get a kick out of this one. I found my colanders and for doing the applesauce. I found my colanders. I knew I had two colanders for applesauce plus the wooden ladle thing that you spin it around. Very old school. And I had them, and when we were doing apples last fall. I'm like, I know I got them. I don't know where they are. Well, I found them today. All right. I went up into the upper meadow, and I went into the shipping container. Yep, we're live, Luke. Yep, we're live. I went up into the shipping container and I was just trying to like get bearings because I have crap everywhere. I have crap everywhere. So, that was one of the. So anyway, while I was looking around in there, I found those colanders. They're like a V shape thing, and they sit there, and you put them over a bowl, and you put your cooked apples in there, and then you take that the circular, the wooden thing, and you mash them like that in a circle. And I like that. I like doing things old school. That's just me. And I had picked them up at garage sales. So, so I'm like, that's where they are. So now for this year, when we get ready to do apples this year, I know exactly where they are. They will get transferred. Actually, I'm going to transfer them down as we get things going in the pavilion. They will be transferred down into the pavilion. But and then I was also looking. It's like looking through my stuff that I have in there, and I have a lot more medical supplies than I thought. So that was pretty funny. Yeah, and it doesn't require electricity. Exactly, Don. Like I like old school stuff. Hey Ed, you need to make yourself a list to know where things are. Like me, forget where the list is. Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like even like doing an inventory of the amount of stuff that I have down here. I really should do an inventory, but I get busy. Other things come up, and so certain things, like I said, as we get certain things in place underground, things are going to get moved so that they're going to be in a safer, more climate controlled area, especially the food. That there's going to be two different spots. We're going to put in a root cellar up in the upper meadow, and then of course, then we have the bunker. Oh, I know we can talk about the bunker a little bit too. Um, No, it wasn't the same notebook that the notebook. Okay, so all right, so Don, there's the notebook, Don, that I lost in the mud. Let's see if I got. There's really I can't really open it up to a page to show you, but yeah, that's the old notebook that I lost in the mud. So I have that one. Um, this one here, actually, I got it. So everything that we're getting, what I'm doing now is everything that I am getting for the group has its own inventory. So not only am I, I'll give you an example of what. Let's see. Okay. All right. So this is the inventory that's in that. All the stuff that I got from the first shop I did from the two Walmarts, that one, that's the inventory that's in one barrel. So everything that's in whatever barrel has an inventory. And then this is the list of group food that is in a barrel. So that's I'm keeping that so we can kind of have a running order of what we have and where we're at numbers wise, so that we're like not overstocking one thing and neglecting something else. And I recently took a poll and learned that 100% of the peoples in the tent were angry when it collapsed. Oh, there you go. I hope the government paid for that, Okie Forge. It probably would be worth at least a couple million to do that study. But but yeah, it's just we're anything that like now I have actually I'll show you this too. So let's see where. Oh no, that's the wrong one. This is the one I want. Let's see. All right. So here's my list of and again I put it what I put in my barrel. So I had gotten two barrels for me, and then I had we had four barrels that were being used for the group. Well, we're now on the fifth barrel for the group, 50-gallon barrels. So everything's being stored where we can seal it in those barrels, and so eventually that will eventually go underground in a climate controlled area. So, but it's just what we're trying to get, like I said, stocked up on is a lot of longer term stuff that's going to be okay. So yeah, it's just now. So somebody had asked, going and getting things in bigger bulk items. I wish we could. I wish I could go someplace and buy a 50-pound bag of black eyed peas. I wish I could go someplace and buy a 50-pound bag of split green peas. I wish I could get all that, like that, but unfortunately, that's not the case. And I actually had people ask over the course. We do have Mylar right now. It's all in original packaging, beans and beans, but we do have Mylar bags here now, so we can reseal them with the oxygen absorbers if we want to. Uh, you know, but if you have a Costco, but Costco doesn't have a lot of stuff in bulk like that. Now they have rice. You can get a 50-pound bag of rice at like Costco, and those type of Sam's Club and like that. But they don't have a lot of the beans available in larger quantities. So like if you go to if you go to Walmart, you can buy a 4-pound bag of black beans. You can buy, get it lentils. Lentils and black beans are huge. They're usually always there. I bet you miss your Amish market in New York. I do. The Amish place was awesome because they had a lot of stuff, and you could go to the Amish and say, "Okay, this is what I want," and they could get it for you. So yeah, I do miss that. That was really really cool with the Amish. But yeah, lentils are cool. I buy oats at Costco for $7, and I think it's 5 pounds. Huge bats. Oh, that's all right. That's cool. But bags of it, sure. That's awesome. Do you have any um, can of beef, pork, and chicken? What, Tony? What I've done on not this shop that I just did, but the shop that I did on Monday, we picked up canned ham. Uh, we ended up getting canned beef and canned pork, and more canned chicken. I've already picked up like 48 cans of tuna fish already. So we're trying to have a lot of different things, meat wise as well. Because so here, and one of the things that we just started doing in this last shop that I did was picking up some elbow macaronis. Okay, pastas really will last a long time as well. And the cool thing with the pastas, it's a filler again. So your rice is a filler, your pastas are a filler. So now, what are you mixing in with it? What are you doing to, for changing up the taste, and those type of stuff? So those are things that are all part of it as well. And so I'm trying to. There were certain things that we wanted to get at certain levels. Like I'll read some of this to you guys. So I got it all written down here. So right now, and I was actually wrong. I thought we had like 260 pounds of rice. We had 280, but now with buying 60 more pounds, this is strictly group food, guys. This is strictly group food. Yeah, it was Keystone, is what I got on. So we're at 340 pounds of rice. Okay, lentils we're at 120 pounds. Small red beans, we are now up to 62 pounds of that. Okay. Black beans, we are now at 100 pounds of black beans. We're at 100 pounds of pinto beans. Light red kidney beans, we are, I got to change that one because I know that got changed. Hold on one second. Light red kidney beans, we're actually at 119 pounds of those. I ended up getting more than I thought I needed. So, split green peas, we are at 62 pounds. Let's see. And then we got black eyed peas. We're up to 90 pounds of the black eyed peas. So we're going to have seven different kinds of beans. I want to get them all up to that 100 level and then add other things as well. And then we'll add more past that point. But like sugar, we're at 75 pounds of sugar now. And so we got like for the meat, we got 12 4-packs of the chicken breast, in a can. So we got 12 4-packs. So, that's pretty decent there. What do we got here? The Keystone pork, we got 13 cans of that. The Keystone beef, we got 14 cans of that. Cooked ham with 16 cans. So it's just what I try to do when just to give you an idea, when I'm stocking up, what I'm trying to look at first, the first things for me when I'm stocking up, I'm looking at things that are going to last a long time. Your rice and your beans, rice is indefinite, basically. I mean, it'll sit forever and it'll be fine. Beans, you're looking at, a 30-year shelf life with beans. So those are things, in the beans, it's a ton of protein. Your body's going to need that protein. Bodies need fat as well, right? So you're going to need to have a fat content as well. But it's a matter of, you know, let me get these staples squared away first, and then we go from there. Now, personally, for my own personal stuff, I'll share this with you. Rice alone, because one of the guys in the group had asked me, he goes, "Well, Ed, how much just rice alone? How much do you have?" And I said, "Well, I'm not 100% sure what the number is because I really don't know what the overall number is. Okay, but I know it's north of 1,500 pounds of just rice. And so, that's that makes me happy because that can go a long way. And that's not just for me and my family. My group is here. What I have available is going to be available to my group as well. But if the group is also investing, right? in food. So they all, every one of my group members, for everybody that they plan on bringing down to here. Let's see. Ricky Bobby said, Ed, have you put any thought into getting an Alaskan chainsaw mill to be able to harvest lumber from your property and use it to build stuff? That's not a bad idea, Ricky Bobby. Thank you very much, first of all, for the donation. And yes, we thought about even just getting a regular sawmill that we could harvest trees from the property to use them. That's going to be a down the line project, to be honest with you. Right now, it's not feasible for us to do that as a group. We have a lot of other things that are a little higher on the priority list. But yeah, I do like that, either that with a chainsaw or just a regular sawmill. But you're talking a decent amount of money for those. Right. Okay. And Patty Forte just said you can also plant those beans and grow more beans. Exactly. And one of the things that too that I stock up on is wheat berries. Okay. And that is I in that there was a place in New York that I was getting those. I was getting the 50-pound bags of wheat berries, right? And that's why the tradition of throwing rice at a wedding means it lasts forever. Oh, that's cool. See, now that I didn't know, JJ. But wheat berries, they have a 30-year shelf life. If you just buy flour, it's not going to last as long. Wheat berries are awesome because not only do they have this extended shelf life, after an SHTF situation, you can plant those seeds, the wheat berries, and you can get more wheat. So again, it's like a win-win type of situation. I think it's important to have, and like I said, there's I'm always looking at what are my options. So beans, I can throw those beans into the ground or germinate them, first, and then plant them. So there's that option. And like I said, with the wheat berries, they will go as well. So always think about those type of things when you're storing stuff up. How do you store wheat berries? I just vacuum seal them, Ace. I mean, you can Mylar bag them if you want. I vacuum sealed mine, so that's the way that I did that with the wheat berries. But and again, you got to have the grinder. So I actually have a hand grind. Okay, you want to go outside? Do you want to go outside? Do you? Huh? Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. If you go out, give me a kiss. All right. I'll be right back, guys. Hold on 1 second. Go. Go. All right. And just so you guys know, I'm going to run this one longer. I'll go past 9 o'clock this live stream because we had a couple of screw ups. So we'll still do the egg count shortly, but we're going to keep going on through. So notice how now we're talking about food and there's no interruption. Imagine that. Certain things, I guess, if we talk about, they don't want us to talk about, so they're going to screw up the live stream. But anyway, so I've been prepping for so let me go back a little bit just to explain like my background, okay? Growing up, we moved a lot. My grandparents were our stability. We lived with Graham and Grandpa off and on. So like when we were in California, we lived in San Diego out there, and then there was a weird situation out there where it was a stalker that was stalking mom, stalking two other women at the same time. And I'll tell you this is a bizarre story. So what ended up happening was this guy, whoever he was, had killed this woman, one of the other women that he was stalking, raped her, and stuck a chicken leg in her vagina. Okay. So and it was well documented, right? Well documented by the police that like mom was being stalked and these other women were being stalked as well. Okay. So the cops came to mom and said, we got to give you this heads up. This woman has been killed. This guy killed this woman. This stalker that's stalking you and this other woman. We packed up and we left and came back to New York. That's what we did. I was 5. My sister was 4. And that's craziness. Guys, I'm going to tell you what. I could write a book, okay? I could write a book and it would be 100% true, and people would say I was lying through the whole thing, because I've had a very interesting life. I've had a very, very interesting life. Um, yeah, very interesting life. So, but anyway, my grandparents were our stability. My grandparents were Depression era, so they believed in always having a pantry. They had a acre-sized garden every single year. Did a lot of canning, all that type of stuff. Okay, so that's kind of what I grew up with as a kid. So when I became an adult, I always had a stock pantry because it was so awesome to go. Oh, I need another jar of peanut butter, or I need another jar of mayonnaise, and just go into the pantry and grab the next one, and then go, okay, next time I go to the store, you put it on your list, get another jar of that. And I would just, do that. It wasn't Richard Ramirez. That was a different weirdo. So, but so anyway, that's what I always had, a stocked pantry. And so when I got into prepping, I just accelerated that. All right. Um, Jay, no more numbers. I moved because of a stalker too. Yeah, there's some strange dudes out there, and women. Don't get me wrong. There's some women that are not wrapped real tight either. So, but it, it's uh, it's sad, to be honest. But yeah, guys, get wheat berries. Another thing I was going to say, get the hand grinder so that you can grind them wheat berries into flour. That's important as well. So you definitely need to have that. And I picked mine up at an Amish store, Amish Super Center, up in New York. They had a certain place where you could go, and it's fantastic. Loved that place. It was really, really good. So, but but yeah, so growing up with that background, I was always prepping even before I was prepping, but taking it to a different level, you know, because I do believe, as I've told you guys, I think we're headed towards something. And even if something doesn't happen, natural disasters are still going to happen. There's going to be things where you may not be able to get out of your home for a week or 2 weeks. If there's something, the roads are flooded and washed away, or there's a blizzard, or there's an ice storm, and then the temperatures stay really cold and they can't, do anything, you're stuck at home. Well, if I'm stuck at home, I want to make sure that I have enough stuff here at home to be able to deal with whatever. And that's, to me, that's important. And so that's, again, so it's not just always, I'm waiting for the end of the world to happen, living on a mountain and just hiding. That's not any of it at all. So, yeah, it's a matter of prepare for the worst, hope for the best, but realize I personally do not have a lot of faith in mankind. They are not going to change their ways. Greed, all that type of stuff is always going to play a factor. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So we're at 182 people in the chat right now. We got 82 thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. Again, I thank you ahead of time. Also, it makes a huge difference with the algorithms as well, and I thank you for that reason as well. All right. And again, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And again, I thank you ahead of time for that. All right. How many eggs today? And yes or no for Miss Betty White. So I'll let you guys get your guesses in right now, and we will go from there. And I'll give you guys a moment to do that. But again, beautiful, beautiful day down here today. It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. I mean, to me, you couldn't ask for better. 72 for a high is perfect because you're not sweating your butt off. Comfortable at night. That helps as well. All right. If you had the same exact guess for the first time this year, Dale from Ohio with 4 eggs, and yes for Miss Betty White. So for the first time this year, 4 eggs. We ended up getting 4 eggs today, so that was pretty awesome. So congratulations to Dale from Ohio. You've won absolutely nothing, but you are happy about it. So there we go. But yeah, I was out of 5 hens getting 4 eggs. I got no complaints about that at all. No complaints about that at all. So yeah, it just and actually it was funny too because yesterday was warmer, and then I was like, I wonder if they're gonna really lay today because I knew it was gonna be warm, and man, they sure did. It was like I said, that was awesome. So really happy about that, especially guys with the price of eggs. Oh my God, it's absolutely ridiculous. DJ said I wouldn't have guessed that high. Well, like I said, it's the first time this year that we got four eggs, DJ. So I had several days of three, but this was the first time that I got the four. So that was pretty cool. Wait till we get more hens up here. We'll see that. Then people are going to have a harder time guessing. It's going to be all over the map then. But I'm looking forward to that too. I'm looking forward to having more hens. When we get to that point. So should be fairly, couple months they'll be ready because Sandy has them, and so she's got them in a brooder box right now. And then once their feathers are all coming in, then we'll get them up here and we will go from there. So now it's funny we have like this weekend we have rain in the forecast for Saturday, like a 40 something percent chance for Saturday, but like Sunday looks like an all day rain. So those are, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to wait. And those are the days that I'm going to get into the pavilion and start getting that insulation in there and the vapor barrier up and stuff like that. Because if it's raining, you don't want to be outside. So those are days. So you like try to plan those inside projects when. Sounds like you're talking into a fan. Luke, I am your father. Sorry, I had to do that. Huh. It's okay now? Now it's fixed? I'm back. Okay, that's so weird. I don't know. I have no idea what that's all about. Better now? Okay. Yeah, so they waited till a bunch of people left. Get a bunch of people to leave, but that's so weird. I don't even know. No idea. Went out, back on is now good. Okay. Well, that's yeah. I don't know. That's bizarre. It was Jessica Simpson's auto tune trying to work for me. Oh my god, that's too funny. Yeah, I'm a robot, all right. My favorite, I gotta tell you guys, my favorite. We're gonna go back. This is going back years. Oh my god, years ago now. So at the homestead in New York, working on stuff there. It was winter time. I was doing a lot of videos outside, talking about different stuff. And one person, they were like, uh, they're like, I know it's a blue screen. It's a fake. You're on a fake set in California. You walking in the snow. That's not snow. I mean, the person was obviously very insane and needed a lot of help, but very, very funny. Very, very funny. I remember that one because I just was like, okay, there, folks. All right, there, buddy. Get a little bit of help. But yeah, domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Domo, domo. Sorry, just if it pops into my head, it's coming out. Just so you know, and that's JJ's fault. Just so you know, that one was JJ's fault. Oh my God. I'm turning Japanese. I think I'm turning Japanese. I really think so. No sex, no drugs, no wine, no women, no fun. Everybody treats me like a total stranger. Everybody treats me like a cyclone ranger. Everyone. That's why I'm turning Japanese. I think I'm turning Japanese. I really think so. So you guys didn't know I could sing, right? Because I can't. That's why. And I'm like, why did he have to be turning Japanese? You know? Oh God, I'm not bad. No, I'm bad. No, I am tone deaf. I know I can't sing, but I sing anyway because I don't care. See, that's the thing is you gotta have you gotta be able to. I definitely showed up every time Tanya's saying that's funny. How you doing tonight, Tanya? Yeah, I was breaking into song. I will do that occasionally. It's just gotta have fun. It's a karaoke club. That's right. That's right. Gotta throw them off. They that way keep them guessing. Uh, Let me call her real quick and see if she'll come back in. There she is. Come on, baby. Get in here. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah. Come on. Watch out. Let me get you. What she's been doing, yeah, show them your loco in the SHS scenario. Exactly. What she's been doing with the puppies, she's showing them the territory. So she'll take them out and she's taking them around and showing them, this is your territory. So that's pretty cool. So, all right, Tanya, well, be safe, get some rest. You don't have to be crazy to work here, but it helps. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, hello again. Yes, I know. You're a good girl. Say sometimes. Sometimes she's naughty. Oh, she's such a good, attentive mother. She really, really is. Um, she is really, really good. Oh, Gainesville, Florida. Welcome, welcome. Knitman's wife. Very nice. Glad you're here. Okay, baby. Down, down, down. All right, good girl. Uh, when is your next Tipsy Live? That one was unforgettable. I hope there was never going to be another. And I wasn't tipsy. I was hammered. And the funny thing is, I get drunk like twice a year. That's it. Normally, if I'm drinking, I'll have like two beers and that's it. That particular day, I think I had like three, and then I did like 4 or 5 shots on top of that. So I get drunk twice a year. Okay, I'll explain this to you guys so you understand. I do it twice a year to remind myself why I don't drink like that because then you suffer so bad the next day. But yeah, I just no, that was not one of my finer moments in YouTube history. Hey, that's the first time in what? I've been on YouTube since 2011. That's the first time you guys ever saw me in that condition. Oh my God, that was funny. But hey, what are you gonna do? So yeah, I'm sure it was funny. Trying to actually get it out was I saw that stream, best stream ever. Oh my God. I mean, the first 5 minutes of stream, I was like just like so non-functioning. Uh Anyway, a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So But yeah, I just not. I'm not a huge drinker. I'm really not. I don't mind, socially drinking, but it's not like I every day go, oh, I got to have a drink. I could care. If I never had another drink again, wouldn't make any difference to me. So, but I don't mind once in a while if it's like if it's this really hot day and you've been out there working. It's always nice to. It was a live stream, Marshmallow Man. It was one of my live streams that I did, but I like a nice cold beer when it's hot like that. So I fall asleep before I get drunk, lightweight. Well, that's all right. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. So I was concerned for you then. Yeah, I was pretty hammered that day. Well, and the thing was, I wasn't driving, and that's the other thing that when if I'm gonna get hammered, I'm going to be home. I'm not going to be out and about. So Ed, what year you want to see it? What are you talking about, Critter Lover? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Found out I had an ulcer when one beer makes me feel sick. Oh, that's not good. Oh, when was that live stream video? Oh God. Last fall maybe. I think it was last fall sometime. Yeah, I think I don't. It was last year, but I don't remember. I think it might have been in the fall. I don't remember for sure. Maybe it was earlier than that. I don't know. I can't remember when that was. It was just one of those days that got drinking early and was in a mood, and all I know I was laughing the entire stream. That was yeah. Oh, I'm glad I amused you, Dawn. Because after I got done with that, and I woke up the next day, I'm like, oh my god, that's so embarrassing. But yeah, 4 or 5 months ago, yeah, I figured it was something like that. It was October. JJ saying, okay, could have been, could have been. Family in New York is doing well. Heather's doing really, really well. She likes her job. Eddie's doing good. I just talked to him recently, and Mom's doing good. And Becky and Jeannie Bean, everybody's doing okay. I think I told you guys that Becky got engaged. Rick asked her to marry her, gave her a ring. So they haven't set a date yet, but they're now engaged. So that's good because I like him. He's a good dude. He is. So my sister, of all the through the years, the different guys that she's been with, um, he's only the second one that I liked. Yeah, I didn't always wasn't fond of my sister's choices as far as that went. No. So, but we all make our mistakes. I mean, my first wife, not a lot of people were fond of her. So, uh gonna start your plants next weekend. That's cool. Yeah, I've done it twice. I've been married twice. So, that's it. But I just set my brother up with a girl I work with. That's cool. That's cool. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Now, like I said, you just, life is life and you take your chances and, sometimes it works and sometimes it don't work. I mean, I have people that I went to high school with that, they got married right out of high school and they're still married. Same person they dated since, like 10th grade and they're still together and good for them. You know what I mean? Good for them. That's awesome. But that's not the norm anymore. That's an anomaly these days. So, but yeah, so it's just Ryan Hall says you'll be getting some weather Friday and Saturday. Actually, it's going to be Saturday and Sunday for us. Saturday and Sunday. But no, like I said, I've done it twice. I think that was enough. Now, would I say that I, because I've said I'll never get married again. I've said that. Okay. If the right person came along and we hit it off and everything was great and it would be an extended period of time before if I was ever going to do it again. I don't know if I would or not. I just it's I don't know. I don't know if I have that in me anymore. It's just, be honest with you, a lot of times it's easier being alone. And I'm not never alone. I mean, I have the dogs, so I have them. They're good company, and and then I have everybody come down once a month, and so that's me and my hubby will be married for 35 years in June. That's awesome. So congratulations. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm not saying never. I'm just saying I'm leaning strongly leaning towards never. For me, let's see. This year is 14 years since my ex and I went our separate ways. So I'm gonna safely say I haven't jumped into anything quickly after that. I know a lot of people. I mean, marriage ends, they breaks up, and man, they're right off, jump right back on a horse and do it again. I'm like, no. Um, After my ex and I went our separate ways, I didn't date for 2 years at all. Um, I just couldn't. I just wasn't in that mindset to be able to do that. So, and then I'm very cautious. You get burned a couple times. It's not a whole lot of fun. So, but I stayed single for 7 years. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. And here's the thing: is what I think is funny. My wife and I were married 49 years before she passed away. That's awesome, Tony. That's really good. That's really really good. Yeah, and see, there's the tough part too. How much of your life you spend with you know a person like that. Like when I was with Amy, when we went our separate ways, I had spent a quarter of my life with her at that point. So it's that was like a death. That was like a death. So, but it happens. I mean, it is what it is. Mike Starr says I'm going on 23 years with my wife. That's all. Like I said, some people works out, and that's great. And I'm actually very happy for people that can find somebody that you can stay together. They make it too easy nowadays to just quit. Okay, they make it way too easy to quit. So if you're not happy, and realistically, who's ever happy 100% of the time? Nobody's happy 100% of the time. But that's you make that commitment, and hopefully that works out for you and everything is good, but that's not always going to be the case. So nobody, I don't care, you show me anybody, there's going to be periods during that marriage that you didn't like each other very much, but you work through it. That's what you're supposed to do, is you're supposed to work through it. That's your partner, that's the person that you wanted to be with. So, but I've been married to this one for 18 years, but I hope not to do it again. Well, there you go. Yeah, easiest thing to get into, right? Hardest thing to get out of. Yeah, and it costs way too much. Really, I mean, and I'm not. Listen, guys, I'm not trying to bash anybody. Men get screwed in divorces most of the time. Most of the time in a divorce, men get screwed. So, what's the incentive realistically for a man to say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna, go ahead and do this," And well, and here's the other thing. I saw this one, and the guy made perfect sense when he said this. So, if you meet a woman, right, and like, and we can use with like when I was with Amy. Josh was 5 years old when we met. So when you marry somebody and you're taking on and you help raise that child, which I had no problem with. Okay, I had no problem with it. I missed something there. Um, but anyway, when you divorce, right? I have no parental rights to that child, even though I've invested 11 years of my life raising that kid, right? Do you see them again after that? Now, after her and I went our separate ways, I still took Josh, and like when we went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Josh went with us. So I did see him a few times, but now he's moved on with his life, and I'm just the former stepdad. That's all I am, and that's hard. That's hard, but it's so And then, in a lot of cases, the women are granted custody of the children. And, the guys are working their butts off and maybe see their kids every other weekend. And then, they're paying through the nose for everything. And don't get me wrong, you should pay for your kids, but it should go towards the kids, not whatever the ex-wife decides to do with that money. Like I said, I was very lucky. I raised my kids. After we went our separate ways, I raised my kids, and to me, that was the biggest blessing that I could have ever had. Not because of the financial end of it, but because they were mine and they were my kids, and I wanted to make sure that they were squared away. So, I would love him to. I haven't talked to him in a while. Like I said, he's married now and he's doing his thing. But but yeah, to me, I would live with somebody. I would be in a completely committed relationship, and I would have no problem with that. The whole getting married thing again, I don't know. And I'm being honest, but and I'm just being honest. So, but yeah, life is it throw things at you. You got to deal with it. It's just how it goes, unfortunately. So, but like I said, it should be, the system right now, and tell me if I'm wrong, guys. Tell me if I'm wrong. The system is set up to destroy men. In a divorce. In a divorce, the system is set up to destroy men. I mean, you have to, as a mother, you got to be the biggest piece of crap in the world, and they're still going to try to give mom custody. You know, Dawn says 100%. Yeah, I mean, and so why do men now not get married? There's that's why they're not. They look, they sees what happens. They've seen people in their own families' lives destroyed and men's lives destroyed, and they go, man, I ain't doing that. But you know, and it's just one of those things. And like I said, I'm not hammering on women. It's not about women. Oh, what happened? What did I do? Hold on. There we go. Uh, it clicked on something I didn't want it to click on. Something about Nancy Pelosi. But anyway, so it's just life is interesting. It happens. You deal with it. You move on. Like I said, with my ex, I will always care about my ex. She has a special place in my heart. I've said that. Okay, I've said that. I would never take her back. Never take her back. So, but it's just, it is what it is. Not really, at least not in California. We do 50-50. That's not normally the case, Siobhan. That's not normally the case. It's like people used to say to me after my ex and I went our separate ways. And, they said, well, see, the problem is a lot of times when you're getting divorced, right? People are at their worst. Both wife and husband at their worst, and the children sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, I'd say the majority of the time, are used as a tool to hurt the other partner, and it's and that's what happens because they're angry at that person and they want that person to hurt and suffer, and they use the kids and they'll turn the kids against the other one. I never tried to do that. I wanted my kids to be able to spend time with their mom, and all that type of stuff. But and it hurts everybody. When you get divorced, it just doesn't hurt the husband and the wife. It hurts the kids too. Because a lot of times the kids think that it's their fault. You know, so I'll tell you. So I'm going to share with you something here. Okay, so years later, after Amy and I were already divorced and, all that type of stuff. And Heather had come to me and she said, I got to tell you something, Dad. And I said, what's that? When mom left, I felt like it was my fault. And I go, why would you think that? She said, well, that particular day, mom had said to me, do you want to stay home from school? And I said, okay. And, I just thought it was like a normal thing. Okay. It was a normal thing that, okay, we're going to just stay home. And she goes, and then when she left, she goes, I felt like if I had gone to school, she wouldn't have left. And I said, honey, don't ever think that. It had nothing to do with you. Your mom was going to leave. She was going to leave no matter what. And that was so sad. That hurt me in my heart that she felt that way. But that's what kids do. They look at it like, it was and it wasn't her fault. Obviously, it wasn't her fault at all. And so, you know, um, yeah, that one, I never forgot that one. That one really bothered me. But I tried to reassure her, it wasn't you, baby girl. It wasn't you at all. So, but yeah, and it's irrational, exactly. But that's where kids are coming from, you know. And so, but yeah, it is what it is, unfortunately. So, Ed, next trip you take north, check out Latina Foods on One Shriver Drive, Cheektowaga, New York. They have a cash and carry bulk items like Cisco Foods. You can get 50-pound bags of potatoes, rice, flour, sugar, and beans. Oh, that's cool. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Christy. Thank you very much for that information. So, but Chris P says literally every guy I know that was married, the women wanted a divorce and refused to leave the man alone even after the divorce was finalized. Yeah, a lot. It depends on the situation. It's unfortunate. It really is. That whole thing is very unfortunate. So, but like I said, life is a challenge. It absolutely is a challenge. So now it's weird. We didn't talk about the other subjects in this third try at all, and the third try went through fine. Isn't that weird? Very weird. Don says control freaks do that. Oh yeah, some people. Well, they play games a lot, and like I said, using the children as a tool, I think, is the most awful thing that you could possibly do. It's the most awful thing that you could possibly do. But it happens. It happens a lot, unfortunately. So, and then you look at today's day and age. You know, so many of these guys get these girls pregnant. They walk away, don't care about their kids. They don't support their kids. Um, Dawn Hill said, "My ex did that, stalked me for 3 years. That's nuts. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, guys. I know, like for myself, I didn't want my marriage to be over. I didn't want it to be over. I love my wife, um, and when she said, I'm done, I went, okay. What are you going to do? You can't force somebody to do something that they don't want to do. So I just, I had to let it go. So not fun. I can tell you that right now, not fun. Again, I will tell you this: looking back in hindsight, like I said, I'm not trying to slam on my ex here. I don't want you guys thinking that, but it's just the way I felt. Looking back after time in healing, I always said the biggest favor that Amy ever did for me was leave. So, you know, but it just kind of, when I married her, for me, it was forever. Because she was the love of my life. But unfortunately, people change, and some people think that the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, and so that happens. But what are you going to do? You know, Again, that's all water under the bridge now, and so I just want to spend my time with my kids as much as I can. You move on. Exactly, Don. Exactly. You have to. You don't have a choice. You know. But like I said, here's a funny thing too, and I saw this. The longer you're alone, the more comfortable you're okay with being alone, and I find that to be 100% true. Um, I'm okay with being alone. Like I said, would I like to have somebody in my life? Sure. Do I need to have somebody in my life? No. And I could if I never got with anybody again and lived the rest of my life doing my thing and, enjoying my things that I'm doing down here, that's enough for me. And I'm okay with that. But I, if you don't let them go, that's kidnapping. Kidnapping is wrong, is my best Ron White voice. Oh my God, that's funny. That's funny. I love Ron White. I think he's a hilarious guy. He's been what? He's like married 3 or 4 times. Poor guy. Yeah, the grass is always greener over the septic tank. Yeah, I mean, people sometimes got to learn their lessons the hard way. But like I said, it's life is life, and you go on and you do your thing. And my kids are squared away, and that's what I care about more than anything else. And we go from there. So, anyway, guys, on that note, I am going to end this live stream. So, we got 3 in. So, we just didn't talk about any of the other topics that we were talking about in the first two. So, there we go. But, anyhow, be safe, keep prepping, keep taking care of your business. Um, you know, be ready for whatever because we just don't know. We just don't know. So, have a good night, and I will talk to you all later. Prepperness 1 out for now.